thoughts. Here we are. Here we are. Yes. In the community tab on this channel, I shared the Instagram live. It's about 15 minutes and 44 seconds long. Yeah, I'm gonna try and well, not try. We're gonna see if we can do a bit more of that for y'all. If you missed the live stream on Instagram, because I figured out, it took me a little bit, but I figured out how to download it and then upload it to YouTube. Okay, and make sure y'all catch it. Now, for those of you who are following us on Instagram, yeah, you should get the notification if you've got your notification on when we go live, because they do for the first several minutes or so. Instagram lets people, hello, hi Cindy, welcome. Y'all listen, this is great. We're going to talk about setting boundaries, and I know y'all in that live chat and on the comment in the replay, okay, or on the replay in the comments, however you want to say it, it don't matter. We ain't trying to be perfect. We're just trying to make progress. Now, that being said, in the community tab, the Instagram live from yesterday is up, and that would be April 23rd, 2025. Okay, that we're talking about. It was a Wednesday. And Wednesdays are toss-up days. If I'm not live here on YouTube and you don't get the notification in the community tab that I'm not going live, you want to check Instagram. If we ain't live there, then that means we're live on TikTok. I'm working on a strategy in this YouTube community tab to give y'all a heads up, but we're trying not to be too predictable. That's why I want to tell y'all that. So in case I don't get to the community tab to tell y'all that we're live on TikTok today, because well, we only have the 3 days a week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, where we can be less predictable as to when we go live. You know, because the devil likes predictability. So we're working on it, and so we're going to talk about learning to set boundaries, how important that is. It is a big part of trauma healing. And it is something that we all found out that, oh, no wonder we didn't have, well, we had some boundaries, but they weren't the needed boundaries to prevent the narcissist from using us as a doormat. So that's what we're working on now is, setting boundaries and then enforcing them. Because it is very, very important, and it takes a while to get used to it, because let me tell you, learning to say no, that's a big one right there. Because, well, we were conditioned to think that if we said no, or if we didn't go along with them, that made us the bad guy, or that it was our fault that things didn't go their way. You know, that's part of the traumatization, that's part of narcissistic abuse, and so they would make us feel that way. So over time, we became, well, for lack of a better term, we became afraid to say no, and that we became people pleasers because we didn't want to look like the bad guy. We didn't want to be called the, you know what, tail end. Okay, a donkey. Okay, we didn't want to be called a donkey hole. So, yeah, I'm being polite here, but that, yeah, we did. We all went through that. It took a while, but I will tell you, the moment you learn to say no, it is very liberating. Oh yeah. And that's the thing, when a narcissist finds out that you have boundaries, you learn to say no, oh, they're going to try to break that boundary. You see what I'm saying? They're going to try. It's like setting boundaries is very attractive to them. However, don't cave. That's the key right there, is don't cave. Okay, don't cave, because that's what they want you to do. They want to see if you will back down from that boundary. They want to see if they can cross it. And so that's a big thing. Okay, so you almost never watched a live stream on Instagram, okay? Well, you're very welcome. I'm glad that you all are enjoying the podcast. For those who don't know, in the video description below, you have CHA's Truth Seeker podcast. I've got the RSS.com link down below, but you can find CHA's Truth Seeker podcast on Spotify, iHeart, YouTube Music, Apple Podcast, Listen Notes, Tuned In, Stitcher, Deezer, and more. Okay, and then you can also learn where all the podcast platforms are on the website. Okay, CHA's Truth Seeker podcast page of the website at cdhrwdrmd.org. That website link is also listed below for quicker access. And so, setting boundaries, okay? Okay, so you said it, thank you, Chris. Thank you. I said donkey hole. Okay, well, you lose the allergy to being called one. That's the thing, chosen one, because we set boundaries. We learn to say no. And we learn to take the time we need to think through stuff. We don't allow pushy salespeople to trick us into making a decision impulsively. Yeah, we learn to step back. Y'all, disclaimer, it is a hotel room. I have no control over outside noises. So, there you go. And then we do have the, enjoying the Patreon podcast. Okay, see, that's the other thing on the Patreon channel. Yep, that link is listed below as well. You unlock access to CHA's Truth Analyzer Patreon podcast. That's on our Patreon channel for as little as $5 a month. Yep. So we have CHA's Truth Seeker podcast. That's one thing. And then we have CHA's Truth Analyzer Patreon podcast, where we dive deeper. We branch out and we talk. It's real. We keep it real all the way around in this ministry. We keep it real with all y'all. Because, well, that's the only way to be. We live in a world full of fake narcissists. So we got to come together. And iron sharpening iron, like God tells us to do. Because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be iron sharpening iron. And so, okay, you've been guilty of saying it too. Yeah, okay. Yeah, narcissistic projection right there. See, that's the thing. That's why a lot of people become hesitant to set boundaries and enforce them, because they don't want to be called the donkey hole. They don't want to be called the son of a you know what. They don't want to be called that. So it makes it more challenging, because that's exactly what a narcissist will do. The moment you tell a narcissist no, oh yeah, they're going to call you names. Like a little toddler in an adult body they are. As soon as you tell them no to something, because you know, you're like, no, I'm not doing it. I don't want to do it. Or better yet, no, because that's against the word of God. Oh, they gonna call you names. And so that's why I tell y'all, trauma healing, it is not for the faint of heart. You got to be willing to stand up for yourself. And I don't mean bully-like. No, the righteous are bold as a lion. The way that we stand up for ourselves, we stop allowing them to walk all over us. And that's how we do it, by setting boundaries. Learning to tell them no. For example, y'all, I've got a disclaimer on my website that says, if you are just looking for attention and a pity party, then my services are not for you. And we mean that. So if I detect that somebody booking a session is a narcissist, I ain't going to tell them that to their face. No, we're going to do our duty. But if they try to book another one, we will give them a refund. I don't have to give them an explanation. I will cancel it and give them a refund. Yes, you heard me. They book a session, and during the session, if I detect, because y'all know we get quicker at detecting these things. If I detect, just like the one that the devil sent across my path here a couple weeks ago, and the story that I was being fed, I picked up on, within the first 10 minutes, boom, I knew what I was dealing with. That's Jezebel. That's a narcissist. Do my duty and keep it moving. The second one, when I was on my walk, that gentleman, if you will, narcissist, the one that kept, the full display of a double-minded man, mentally unstable, big time. It did not take 5 minutes with that one to know what I was dealing with. So you better believe if they book an online session or even over the phone, I can tell by the tone of their voice. I can tell. That is how sharp our discernment gets, and it continues to get sharper. I want y'all to think of something. You go out and about, right? And if you look at somebody and they have purity misery all over their face, like you can literally see that they are seething. You can see it in the eyes. You can see the anger. You can see the hate. You can see the misery. That's a narcissist. Because chosen one, the difference between us and them is that we don't have that look with pursed lips and anger in the eyes. We don't have, you can see the hate in their eyes. We don't have that. We can see the hurt. I will tell you, I've seen that too on my walk. I've walked by some, I don't know, when I say young girls, I don't know, I want to say in their early 20s, but I could be way off. Okay, I'm definitely not going to try to guess their age. I know they were younger than me. And one of them, I could tell, definitely dealing with some trauma. Because in her eyes, she smiled very meekly. It was a very meek smile, and not weak, but meek. There's a difference. And in her eyes, I saw the hurt. And we pray for her like we pray for everyone. But that's the difference. That discernment, you can tell. And yes, that means she's one of us. And maybe doesn't know it yet. So, that's that. But, you start to spot them quick. And so if they book a session, if someone books a session, and I will know within, virtual or by phone, I will know within the first 15 minutes at least if they are or are not serious about healing from trauma. I'll know because they tend to repeat themselves a bit too much. And they try to tug at the heartstring a bit too much. So, there you go. And, well, yeah, I mean, it gets that easy. So, well, like I said, I'll do my duty. I'll give them a couple of tips. I'll give them what they paid for. I'll take note because that means they get turned into a case study. And so, I'll be looking for a new reveal to bring to you all, a new red flag. And so, if that narcissist that's been identified tried to book another session, a second one, yeah, I'm not even going to go there. I will cancel it and I will give a refund. And I don't owe that narcissist an explanation. They'll know. Oh, yeah. They'll know. So, that's called boundaries. That's why I wanted to share that with y'all. A little disclaimer there. So, that's that. Because if they're trying to seek attention or trying to get a pity party, yeah, my services are not for them. So if I detect any of that going on, oh yeah, you better believe it. Because I'm going to make use of that hour. Let's say they book an hour and says, I'm going to make use of it. I'm going to take notes. I'm going to take notes for some red flags. Because a lot of narcissists can come in different flavors. And so there might be a new reveal or a new way that they're doing something that I haven't come to learn yet. So that's how we do it. And when you do that, it's just another way of saying no, and that you're not gonna put up with it, And I know some people are like, well, no, because if they're doing anything that signal trying to get attention or a pity party or tug at my heartstrings, that's going to tell me right there that they're not serious about healing from trauma. See, when you're serious about healing from trauma, you'll be like, okay, I have this trigger. How do I overcome it? You're not going to come to me with a sob story. You'll tell me some things, yes, but you're not going to try and tug at my heartstring. Like, I can tell when y'all come to me and share some details with me about your narcissistic parent or parents or sibling or spouse or ex, I can tell you're not trying to tug at my heartstrings. You're sharing detail so that we can help others learn those same red flags. And we can all relate to one another in one way or another because we've all experienced something similar like that. So, well, that's the thing, okay? And boundaries are essential for trauma healing. And so, yes, no contact is a boundary. And remember, God is the author of the no contact rule. So if y'all pardon me, because we are getting used to wearing these again, okay? It takes a little bit, but we're getting used to them again. My autonomic nervous system recognizes it, and she's like, okay, I recognize it, but it's a different one. It's one that we hadn't worn yet before. And so, pardon me, you know, if you see me fidgeting with it a little bit, that's because my ANS is like, what that? Oh, okay. That's what that's all about. She's got to get used to it again. Because y'all know that's part of our style. It's just we had to take a little break from wearing them for a little bit. And we still do. And so I see that YouTube is monitoring something here. Oh, okay. Yeah. There you go. Narcissist, if they book a session, yeah, that exactly. They want to get attention, and they basically, yeah, they want, when you say when you say jerk you around, what he means by that is play head games. That's all that means. It's just another way of saying that the narcissist just wants to play head games. Because that's the thing we learn. Narcissists, that's all they got. Just like their master, the devil. All they got is the head games. Head game, head game. They try to psych you out. Because they know that what you think is very, very powerful. So, and let's see. Okay, well, all right. The looking miserable, we all had that, but it's different. Let's talk about that for a moment. Okay, Cindy, thank you for bringing that up. I know that I was miserable in some ways too, yes. With my, oh gosh, the ex-husband, okay, the angry narcissist that you learn about in real events of narcissistic abuse. Okay, I was very miserable. But the way it looks on us is different. That's what that's what I want to point out. Okay, Cindy? When chosen ones have the look of misery, it is very, we just feel down. And we're not smiling a whole lot. It shows differently, but not in a dark and evil sense. Whereas on a narcissistic miserable, they have long drawn doom and gloom. Y'all seen the movie Scream, or at least previews? You know that white mask, that long white mask, that drawn. Okay, that's kind of what it looks like on a narcissist who's miserable. They have nothing but doom and gloom on their face, and it's really, really long, and just, I can't even do it, okay? But when we had some misery going on, it was just more, we were tired all the time. We were tense. The narcissist could see all that. So just keep that in mind. There's a difference between a chosen one being miserable with the narcissist. So we know because we've all been there in some way, but it's the presentation of it is different. Plus, chosen one, we never went to a store and took it out on somebody. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, I can tell you I could never do that. Like, even if, at that time with the ex-husband, I mean, I would not, just because I was miserable with him, I was still polite and kind and all that to cashiers and things like that. It never occurred to me or came across my mind to lash out at them. That's not how chosen ones are. Big difference. Now, in the heat of the moment, I would say that maybe if provoked enough, chosen ones, we did get tricked into stepping out of character. But still, again, it never crossed my mind, okay, to be taking it out on others. Okay, no. Because that's just, to me, I always, that was wrong. That's wrong. That we got to bear our own burden. And so I understand what you mean, but I wanted to clarify that for people, because when you have spiritual discernment to be able to tell someone out here is completely miserable, but it's a very dark, in the spiritual, you can see the look of hate in their eyes, you can see the misery, you can see the seething anger. It's like, not just the tension, but it's you know, even if you don't see pursed lip, but you see the anger that is boiling underneath it, you can see it in the spiritual. That's what I'm talking about. The chosen ones, even though we had a misery, around us, if you will, we didn't have the anger. Okay, at least not that. Okay, we have some, like, like, what the heck? Yeah, of course, but not a seething type demonic anger that we can see on them. And the monitoring spirit that I have spotted here, I see it. Complete 100% self-loathing. I mean, they have a lot of self-hate built up inside of themselves. And I see the dark and the scrunched up face, the shape-shifting that comes with it sometimes. Yeah, we see it. We see it. Remember, y'all, when God reveals these things, you ain't going to unsee it. And so I'm glad that you pointed that out. I wanted to clarify that. Right, and that, of course, because that's what the narcissists do. This is why we learn to set boundaries, so that we no longer allow them to suck us dry of our energy. That's what they want. They want to deplete all our energy. Oh yeah, the Matrix is trying to harvest everybody's energy too. Yeah, we know all about that. Absolutely. With radio frequency poisoning and chemicals and all that, trying to deplete everybody's energy. Because deplete their energy, their physical energy, they're easier to control. And so, yes. Okay, I understand that. I understand. Yeah, Chris, and sympathies with you. And I know it's tough, but you have got this. Well, thank you, Cindy. Yeah, because the qualities of the narcissist, I mean, it's pure demonic. Pure demonic, pure evil walking around out here. And I appreciate that. Yay. Yes, my signature choker, part of our style. Yes, I told y'all, getting back to business as usual, one day at a time. Yeah, so, okay, so thank you for letting me know that you are rarely there for live streams on Instagram. That's okay. You can, well, like I said, I'm working on a strategy to where I figured out how to download them. So if you don't make the live on Instagram, you can catch the replay on here on YouTube. That's what we're gonna, yeah. So it doesn't take that long. It doesn't take that long. I just had to I had to go to the archive and then figure out how to download it from there, because it wouldn't let me do it from the actual video itself once I put it in the story, and after I finished. Yeah, this the Bible right here. Always, y'all, we gotta have God's word next to us at all times when we are live doing a video, because you never know when the Holy Spirit gonna say, "Hey, pick that up. We got confirmation coming." You never know. Okay, and that's it. So, but people who haven't been through this can't tell the difference between the abuser and the abused. That's true. That's true. So, another reason for clarifying that the look of misery is very different between a narcissist and a chosen one. Right, the abuser's look of misery has a lot of demonic doom and gloom there, and the look of misery on the abused, okay, is very different. It doesn't have a demonic force with it. It doesn't have seething anger. It doesn't have, you know what I'm saying? It's that you can see maybe slumped shoulders, tired eyes. You can see the tiredness in there, along with the hurt. So the misery looks very different on chosen one versus narcissist. It does. Okay, with a we're says we are allowed to be not happy occasionally. We're not idiots, okay? With a stupid grin all the time. I gotcha. Okay, we're right. We don't. I mean, well, even when it's not a happy moment, we're still happy. It's a moment. We're allowed to have our moments, okay? Absolutely. It's not like we're living here. Yay! No. True happiness is actually very peaceful. It's very calm. All right. But we all do have our moments. It doesn't mean it's not like it's so bad though. It's like, oh, trials and tribulations. Well, that's going to happen. We're going to have our trials and tribulations, but it's in how we think about it. It's in how we cope. It's in how we find solutions. Okay, solutions, if you will. Oh yeah, always aware around that resistance. Y'all had to know I was not gonna not squeeze that in somewhere today. Sometimes we all need that reminder that whatever it is you're facing, any kind of resistance, issues that the matrix and the evildoers are trying to do to maybe thwart you off of God's path, you will. There's a solution. You find a way around that resistance. All right, I got an example for you all. Yeah. Okay? Getting around that resistance by keeping your boundaries enforced. A big way of keeping your boundaries enforced is by not enlisting unnecessary help from man. See, there was an incident where I had to utilize what's called a cold bag to put some things in while a refrigerator was repaired. And I did not need to ask for any help. So, well, because I thought about it, think outside the bag. Think outside the bag. Okay, that'll work. Think outside the box. But I had a cold bag. And it's something that I started doing, oh gosh, several years ago, is keeping a cold bag in my trunk. I honestly don't remember why, other than when I went to the grocery store sometime and I wanted the cold bag to keep the cold thing cold. But the cold bag comes in handy a lot more than you realize. It sure does. Say, all right, you got a cold bag in your trunk and you want to get a couple bags of ice and it's hot outside. Well, put the couple bags of ice in your cold bag. And then by the time you get home, you still got ice. I mean, it's just that kind of stuff that I talk about, okay? Getting around that resistance. And it works, you know, issue solved. So it's like it wasn't a happy moment. This ties into the whole, we're not always, it's like it wasn't a happy moment, but it wasn't so bad that it stole any happiness. It's just, hold on, a little bit of a disruption, a little bit of a hiccup, if you will. And I said, okay, but we'll get around it. And then back to business. Keep it moving. We don't sit there and dwell about it. We don't sit there complaining. We're like, okay, Heavenly Father, what is the workaround? How can we do this? Exactly. And so that's for somebody right there. Somebody's like, wait a minute. I need to get a cold bag and keep it in my trunk. Good idea. And they're not that expensive. what I mean by cold bag is I'm talking about if you go like to Walmart and you go to the outdoor section where all the coolers are, and you look at, it's a carry-on bag and it's got a lining on the inside. So when you put cold things in it and ice in it, I'm gonna tell you that they work. They work. Okay, there you go. And Psalms are full of David woes, I see. And okay, there, yeah, we don't take out our situation on others. Okay, that was from before. And then asking about the monitoring spirit that I have spotted. Do they ever chat? No. No. No, but I could see the eyes. Yep. And that's it. You're trying to keep YouTube friendly words. I got you. It can be challenging sometimes. Okay. Well, yeah, okay, audiobooks. Y'all are talking about, okay, the audiobooks. Yes, I narrate. Yours truly is the narrator. There's an audiobook for my first book. Okay. How Narcissism is the Work of the Devil. All right. The audiobook for that and the audiobook for Real Events of Narcissistic Abuse. They're only available on the website. Yeah. If you go to BTBW Magazine, my books / publication in the navigation drop-down menu, and you scroll down, you'll see that those 2 audiobooks are available. Okay? Yep, narrated by yours truly. Absolutely. Yes. You know what, Cindy? I understand why. Okay, crowds and noise and chaos. Definitely, we don't want chaos and drama. Another reason why we set boundaries. That cuts out chaos and drama right there by setting boundaries. Oh, yeah. We learn to say no, like they want to try and invite us to, no. No. I don't care what it is, no. That's right. And that's why I was like, chosen one, when we get real good at saying no, they quit asking. Yeah. Believe me, at some point they quit asking. Especially if it's to try to get us to go somewhere with them, what have you. Oh yeah, like no. No. And I will tell you right now, I can see it. If I spot one and start walking towards me, I can see myself doing it. No. They ain't even said nothing. No. That's how, oh man, I can see it. Oh, and I'll do it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'll do it too. So, exactly. But I get it. And now as far as noise, that depends on where we're at and the type of noise and how much of it. And I think for yours truly, we've got a workaround because we take these out. So, and it's not, no, it doesn't bother me because it's a hotel room. What am I going to do? I mean, I have no control over that. So it's like, okay, it is what it is. I've learned to block a lot of it out. And then when it's in the evening and we're getting work done, if it gets to be a bit too chatty out there, I simply don't want to hear what the heck they talking about because I don't care. It's all nonsense and childish stuff anyway. I don't care. It's all, well, see, that's the thing. We learned that a lot of people who are conformed to this world, that's what they're going to talk about. They're going to talk about all this stuff going on in the world that they don't even know is made up, and that part of the dog and pony show on the world stage. A lot of them don't even know that. Okay, they don't know that they're being lied to. They don't know they're being narcissistically abused on the societal level. They don't know that they've been brainwashed. They don't know that they've been turned into a narcissist, a robot. They don't know they're perfectly programmed. So they talk about all that worldly stuff that we don't want nothing to do with anymore because we know it's all lies. and deceit. We're looking for God's truth now, and then getting educated about narcissism and narcissists and combating that radio frequency for healthier living. Absolutely. So I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. And I know that some of y'all might live in situations where it gets a bit noisy from time to time. And we just have to come up with solution to get around that. Okay? But you do come to a point where your autonomic nervous system gets healed and is with you in the present. And you find ways, because it's all part of the renewing of the mind. Okay? To be transformed into the best version, the calmest version, no matter what is going on out there. Okay? That God intended for us to be. Okay, so we get it. Peace and quiet. And yeah. Yes, we did think outside the bag blooper. Every once in a while. Okay, see, that's the other thing. Where there is extreme noise, right? Where noisy people are, you will find narcissists there. Absolutely. Because narcissists are not just nosy, but noisy. Exactly. Very noisy. Okay, and yeah, they do. They hate it when we say no. But that's too bad. Because that's a boundary. A much needed one. Yep. Okay, the thought of going to a live music event or crowded mall where there's a lot of humanity. I would tell you, I feel you on that one. I really do. I feel you. I've learned, though, too, also that my A&F, when I've got to make a Walmart run here during the season where there's a lot of tourists coming and going, we got to get there early. My A&F does not like going in the afternoon, although sometimes we do, but my A&F is like, really? Can we not do this early in the morning and get it done? So, yeah, I hear you. I got you. And it's not because we can't handle the crowds or anything like that. It's just, yeah, I mean, because the more people there are, the increased chances for spiritual energy transfer, although we handle it, but it's just, we see the weird already, and it's like, enough. We don't have to, we're going to see it no matter what, but we don't want, that's enough for one day. So yeah, part of yeah. A cabin in the mountain, no neighbors. I hear you. And they don't, when you say no and they don't hear it and they keep asking, the more they ask, the stronger that no becomes. And then we've asked that before. It's like, what part of no don't they get? None of it. I mean, they don't want to hear it. They refuse to accept they're being told no. Because being told no to them is being rejected. And they cannot handle that. And that's it. That's what it is. We see them, they are programmed. And that's it, Cindy. That's what I was getting at. So thank you for the rewording, because it means the same thing. And that's exactly what it is. Okay? As to why. It's not that we can't handle being around the crowds and stuff. It's just that, well, we don't want to hear the nonsense. Like I was telling you, the nonsense, the crazy making, the stuff that they talk about that doesn't even matter. It has no substance. It's going nowhere. There's no progress in it. There's no education in it. There's nothing. It's like that article. I've shared it with y'all before in the live chats on here. But it is an article that was put out quite a while ago, and it talks about how the news media dumbs people down, because it does. And then God tells us how he turned them over to a reprobate mind. I'm going, well then. Go figure. Turned them over to a reprobate mind because they refused to keep God in their knowledge. But they also get dumbed down because they continue to consume all those lies. They don't realize that that ain't real. They don't realize that that event they just witnessed was staged for the entertainment industry. It was staged. They don't realize that even though, oh, okay, wait, but if it's on the internet, it must be true. No. So with the news media, well, if it's on the news, then it must be true. No. We learned it. That the news media is a big part of the entertainment industry. But because of its so-called popularity, and they're supposedly reporting news when there is nothing new about it, it's the same old stuff over and over again. But once a person's been dumbed down and their short-term memory is in full bloom, which is what the devil relies on, is that short-term memory, well, then they can recycle the same old, nothing new, under the sun narrative to instill fear and keep people walking on eggshell. And they think that a new story like that just happened. I'm like, dude, that circulated around about 2 years ago. Where you been? And that's the thing we start to realize. Same thing with as we go through the book of Revelation. That narrative, our whole lives. I think I started tuning it out somewhere in my 20s because I heard it so many times growing up that the end of the world coming, the apocalypse. And I'm like, okay, but we're still here. Like, I want to say maybe after the 5th time of hearing it, I started tuning it out every time it came around. Now I know why. Because it's just a fear-mongering narrative. Because we're even told that when ye hear of war and commotion, do not let your heart be troubled, because the end is not by and by. Oh, when I came across that verse, I said, well then. But that narrative is that apocalypse narrative going around just to keep people living in fear. It's just to keep people afraid to take that leap of faith and really get on the right side of things. It keeps them perfectly programmed. Mind-numb robots. How the news media dumbed them down. They don't have anything of substance to talk about. All they know to talk about is the weather, which, by the way, we learn is engineered also. They use radio frequency to manipulate the weather. That's why I tell y'all a lot. For those who don't know, if you go outside and they try to tell you it's like 90 degrees, but you feel a cool breeze, yeah, and that's what's happening here. So I'm like, wait a minute, it's not that hot. It's not hot outside. Because the humidity is low. The sun is warm, yeah, but the breeze is cool. Now, if your body's internal temperature was way higher than it should be, you wouldn't know that. You would think, man, it's really hot out here. I'm like, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. I can feel that cool breeze. It's a cool breeze. I can actually feel it. See, my body's internal temperatures come way down through the detox. But see, if you don't know that and your autonomic nervous system, your ANS, is numbed, you would think the opposite, because they're engineering it. That's how they keep the mind control going with what people buy, tricking people into thinking they got allergies when no, you're just detoxing. But whatever, believe what you will. They trick people into thinking that they need to go buy this medicine or that medicine. No, you don't. Just sit it out. It'll be gone in 24 hours. Because they don't realize their body's detoxing from radio frequency poisoning and excess salt. The body is trying to get rid of what it doesn't want or need, but they don't know it. Just like we didn't know until, now we know. And when you know, you know. So, I'm telling you, and that becomes part of our boundaries. We learned it's just like, no, we're not going to allow the devil to trick us into giving up and giving in and buying that stuff anymore that we now know serves as the 80% deception, trying to mask what's really going on. Because underneath all of that is radio frequency poisoning. And the body's just trying to get rid of it. Trying to get rid of all the metals, metal toxicity. Yes. So a lot of people don't know that. And so we just, that's why we're a growing community of fellow spiritual warriors for Christ. I'm actually quite surprised to see that there's a lot of people on TikTok who claim to know about all this. They claim to know about the chemicals in the air. They claim to know about the radio frequency and the fact that we are walking around in big, giant microwaves. Yes, we know. I know, Chris, thank you again. I have not yet gotten to the documentary. We're working on that. Some things have come up that, with some additional self-care, because as we are continuing to detox, some new things are coming to light that I'm like, aha. And so the Lord is revealing to me how it all began. Yeah, with my hands. Because stressing out the nerves in the hand, that stresses out, right? So at the time, I didn't know that my vagus nerve was being stressed out also. Well, that's out of the way. We're good there. But the hands, I didn't realize just how important the nerves in your hand really are. So we're learning all about that. I'm going to bring to you all some more about that also, because it's part of our combat against radio frequency for healthier living. Because if you don't know that the nerves in your hands are stressed out, like if your hands are too hot, that means your nerves are stressed out. That trickles on down the rest of the body. Yes. Because everything we do, right? Everything we do, just like simply moving like that, you're using your hands, right? Pick up a book, you're using your hand. So that just further explains why the Jezebel case study put the bruising where she put them in our hands. Yeah. And so it's like, okay. It's just more dot connections and things like that. And just to realize also the power of God. It's on the inside. We are not to underestimate that ever, because I was like, man, you mean for the last 18 months, that's what's been going on underneath all those layers of salt water? Wow. Wow. Yeah. So that's what's been happening the last few evenings. And so, and I'm going to get to that microwave documentary, because I do want to break it down. I'm going to bring it to y'all. So thank you. I've not forgotten. Also, yes, I know the receptor article in the Academy. I haven't forgotten about that either. We're going to get to that. And also, additional courses and things, like I said, back to business as usual. One day at a time. Okay, one day at a time. And so, as we continue to do that, though, I get up here and I want to keep reminding y'all how important it is to enforce your boundaries. Keep those, set them, enforce them. Don't let the narcissist cross those boundaries. Once you have those boundaries in place, keep them. Enforce them. And I don't care what they try to lure you with, or let's just say bribe you with. Don't fall for bribery. Remember, in Job 15 verse 34, don't fall for their bribery. And that can manifest in many ways. Okay, so be careful about that too. Don't let them bribe you into letting one of your boundaries go. Okay, because if they can cross one boundary, you better believe they're going to try to cross another one. And then another one. And then another one. So, that's it. And you know what? That's the thing. Terrified as a kid of that narrative about a nuclear war. And they still use that every once in a while. Well, the fact that you're not going to get through God's firmament, so we've never been to space. Okay. Now what else? Yeah, is the earth flat or round? It's flat. So, I mean, yeah, but we're conditioned to believe otherwise. Oh, yeah. And it did take me a little while. Oh, sure it did. It took me a little while. Okay, zeolite to safely detox metals. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Yep, thank you, Cindy. The earth is flat. There, I said it. Okay. Okay. Okay, guarding your boundaries. Good. Yep, well, right, exactly. We be very diplomatic unless we spot that they are a boundary stomper. Right. For example, when I was in that last toxic workplace, and I let it be known, I don't get personal with coworkers. And they tried several times to invite me to some event after work, come hang out with them, those that I work with, and I politely told them no every single time. No, thank you. And yeah, they quit asking me to do that. So eventually they got the hint that they weren't crossing that boundary. So right, it is very telling that those rockets don't get very far. Project Bluebeam, anyone? Hey, look it up. It's not a secret. Project Bluebeam, look it up. And then those of us who edit videos like I talk about often, I'm telling you, it is very easy to deceive when you know about green screen, blue screen. Yeah. Yeah, and the rockets don't get very far at all. But boy, it puts on a great show, doesn't it? Green screen, blue screen. Yeah, because it's so easy to deceive when you're thousands of miles away and you can watch it on, well, whatever you want to call it, right? It's the hypnosis machine, that television, the lie vision. So, okay, so you're watching on the fake news media, you're watching that happen, but and because of all the theatrics that are available, green screen, blue screen, editing, oh my gosh, movie props, I mean, oh yeah, it can look very real. And they don't get very far. Yeah, because they can't get through God's firmament. Yes, yep, and movies, they are very hypnotic. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, right, and there is Bluebeam. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, sis. Those rockets, they arch. Right, they arc right back in, like they go up, and then right back into the ocean. They don't go, they don't, And you also got to remember something else, because radio frequency sine waves, what have I told y'all? One of the things that I learned about sine waves with radio frequency and the law of reflection, this is physics 101, okay, the law of reflection. And I've told y'all several times, when you think about sine waves are frequency waves. And yes, you have the rainbow colors. You've got your purple, you've got your red, green, blue, orange, yellow. I've seen them. I had a round, okay, like a smaller version of this, if you will. A much smaller version of this ring light, okay? I had one of those in the mini electrocution chamber, and I had it facing the mirror in the bathroom area. So as I was turning around one day, I was able to catch that reflection in the mirror just right where I saw the sine wave. I saw all the rainbow colors that are involved in putting out LED light. And you look at the light and it's bright white, but the sine waves that it's putting out, oh, it's pretty cool. I was like, ooh, I saw them again. Because at the ex-psycho roommate, okay, right, at that place, during that season, when he was rigging up on Wi-Fi at the top of the house out back. And so I remember standing at the, if you will, it's like the breakfast area in the kitchen, but a glass door, and I remember standing there, and I saw the same sine waves coming from, yep, they were coming out, and I saw them moving. I said, oh my gosh. Yep, I saw them moving, coming together, down, and then connecting, right? Okay, and I did. I saw them waving, sine waves. They move, they wave. Okay? But they never can go up. Nope. They can't go up. They can only go out and straight or out and down. They cannot go up. Honestly, I don't have a why for that. All I know is that that is something I've witnessed, something I learned, and what God revealed to me. He said, yeah, them sine waves can't go up. So when you think about the sine wave, those rockets, right, putting out that fire, all that heat, like the sine wave, it cannot go up. No, you will not get through God's firmament. So, I mean, I know that in movies and stuff, with all of the like swords and weapons, what have you, that they show in movies and stuff that's not real anyway. Sure, they'll have a laser beam or whatever, and it can go up in the movie. But in real life, according to the law of reflection, it can't go up in reality. It's just, it's something to do with the magnetic pull. Basically, what that tells me is that up there, there's nothing up there that has a magnet. There's your why. That's it. Thank you, Holy Spirit. They're up in the sky, even though, you know, there's chemicals in the air and stuff. We're talking, yeah, there has to be a magnetic pull. There has to be a magnetic pull for the sine wave to do that. The sine waves go, okay, it kind of, it's like, okay, narcissists will go where there is energy, right? Supply. So they can go and try and steal it. Okay, animated salt molecule, they're all the time running towards radio frequency to stay activated and looking for little salt. They ain't after your food. They ain't after you. They're looking for frequency. And they're looking for the salt granule. That's their food. Basically, they're feeding off of each other. So, anywho, all right, with that being said, the sine waves, okay, are looking for a magnetic pull. It's like, that's why it takes excess salt on the inside of our body for radio frequency, because that's why I tell y'all the salt on the inside of your body act as a magnet for radio frequency. So if you've got excess salt on the inside of your body and the radio frequency is high enough, you're gonna all of a sudden you feel hot. That's why. You're being cooked. You're being cooked by radio frequency because you got too much salt in there. Okay? Too much salt in your body. So anyhow, okay, same concept with sine wave, because it's radio. Those are radio frequency waves, and so because they themselves contain the metal toxin, the magnets, they will magnetize. That's why at that place with the ex-psycho roommate, okay, out back in the attic area to Wi-Fi spot. That's why I saw them coming down. They were waving. And they came together, and they just stood there and waving together, down, and then straight across. So, it had to have something magnetic, strong enough, which tells us that the firmament is non-toxic. Glory be to God. Let that sink in, because there would have to be something in the firmament that would be strong enough to act as a magnet for a sine wave. But then you have to think about distance. Sine waves can only travel so far. Now that I learned in the research. I don't remember the exact distance, but they can only travel so far and for so long, unless they have another sine wave to connect with. So there you go. Okay, so why do they use... Yep, why do they use the word blue for all that? Oh, you mean like Project Blue Beam? Well, when you think about psychology, the psychology behind the color blue is often associated with calmness. So that could be one reason. And then blue, as in doom and gloom, kind of blue, feeling a little bit blue. I don't know. It's a good question. Because we know that the Matrix does not use words accidentally. The Matrix uses words deliberately. There's a hidden message there. So we're going to decode that together. All right. And so the body had to be moving at 18,000 miles an hour to break free from the Earth's atmosphere. Okay. Okay, blue origin. Okay. Okay, as far as that, the animated salt molecule, very, very, very few. That mini electrocution chamber is not a normal living environment. Right. But yeah, it's just, it is right for the wave to be visible like that. That's a lot of radio frequency power, and it was coming from 2 Wi-Fi antennas that he had installed, and at those points of the house, because I used to go out back and talk to the Jezebel that gave birth to me on the phone. So my phone was supposed to be exactly. So my phone would be the electrocuting device while I'm talking on the phone. That's what he was bringing up. But once I saw them sine waves, yeah, I knew better. I said, I ain't sitting out there. I started going out the front porch with my tea. And because at that time, I still smoked cigarettes. See, we don't do that now. Okay? So, I had to go outside. And so I started going on the front porch. Yeah, he was a little disappointed. I saw it all over his face, too. Because I caught them in the act putting the Wi-Fi antennas up there, but I didn't say nothing. I was like, I see what they doing. And it wasn't a couple days after that I saw the sine wave. And I went, oh, I ain't going out there. I said, we go to the front porch. Yeah, he didn't see that coming. But, yeah, that's a lot. It says, okay, so according to Newton's law, the body had to be moving at 18,000 miles an hour. That's a lot. That's fast. In order to break free from the Earth's atmosphere. Well, I mean, that's quite a number. But is there any way to test that theory out? I think that the rockets have tried, and they continue to arc right back into the ocean. I don't know. That's intriguing. But okay, all right, so the word blue in all of this, Project Blue Beam, and then the name of the rockets, yeah, there's a hidden message there. So break down the word blue. B-L-U-E. So that's got to stand for something. That's got to stand for something. Is there anything going to be moving that fast to be able to test the theory? That's a good question. Really great question. See, that's the thing, chosen ones. That's where we're at the and more. And so, and why the word origin? Yeah. Who knows? Well, origin, original, okay, with that. But the word blue and being used in all of these things, we're going to unpack that. I'm going to make a note right now. Because that definitely, yep. We're gonna decode the Matrix's hidden message with the word blue. Project Blue Beam, blue being included in the name of rockets. Green screen, blue screen. Okay. Yeah, there's something to this. There's something to it. We're gonna find out. We're gonna Work that salvation out with the Heavenly Father. Well, and that's the other thing. No, exactly. Ballistic missiles don't even get anywhere near 18,000 miles an hour. You're correct. So, something to think about. All right, y'all. There's your food for thought right there. So let's see what we come up with the hidden message behind the word blue and all of these things, because that's the thing we learned. The Matrix does not use words accidentally. There's always a hidden message. So, yep. And then, okay, in U.S. news shows and other programs, yes. Yep. Totally get you. Totally get you right there. But that wraps this one up, y'all. Just remember to set those boundaries, enforce those boundaries. Don't back down. Don't let the narcissist cross your boundary. And you are good to go. So you keep on keeping on. I want to thank everybody who is sewing into this ministry. You know, CHA's fundraiser for our movement is ongoing. That's right. If you don't see a preferred amount that you would like to pledge, right, into this ministry on the CHA's accepts grant / the world's term donation in the navigation drop-down menu on the website. Okay, I've got amount listed at 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on the website. If you don't see the amount you prefer to pledge, you can see the PayPal and Venmo link in the description below. That's paypal.me/CHABTBW. All funds, okay, for the ministry, all funds are going towards our movement to get the things that we need to bring y'all more demos, to bring y'all more research facts and all of that about how radio frequency negatively impacts your health and what we can do about it, right? And also into our growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ. It all goes back in, and that's a big way that it does, is we're giving back in the value of the awareness and the education and getting up here, because this is my full-time job. I am a full-time content creator, minister, trauma specialist, consultant, coach, and author. That's right. So I appreciate y'all. You have no idea. Okay. And then the Patreon membership channel is another way that y'all can further support this ministry. And I really appreciate y'all on that one for as little as $5 a month. And we bring it. We're going to continue to grow there too. And at CHA Academy, btbw.com. Okay, so the Academy has made me aware of the different types of payment we do accept at the Academy. Different wallets, most credit and debit cards, and then also the wallets like Google, Apple, Amazon Pay, and Link, and then also some others like Band Connect, EPS, and so forth. Because I forget the country, associated with those, but they turned it all on for us. Yeah, I was like, okay, I gotta let everybody know. You have various payment options at the Academy now. I mean, and PayPal. Yes, we do. We take PayPal there too. But if you've also got Venmo, we do accept service grants / donation and funding for the movement. It's all part of the ministry at Venmo, right? Okay, yeah, on Venmo you'll see that link below, but it's Michelle Dickey at CHABTBW on Venmo. So there you go. All right, several ways, and I highly appreciate it. And for all of you who are with us on Patreon and at the Academy, thank you. We got more coming. That's right. And thank you for your patience as we continue to get back to business as usual, getting back on track one day at a time. And that's what it's all about, progress. Right? Like I've talked about before, it's all about progress, not perfection. Okay, so, yes. Okay, so sleep well, y'all. Okay, early for work. I got you. We're wrapping it up. You sleep tight, fellow warriors. And again, remember to, Yes, it is. Thank you. Tell him what time it is for me. Exactly. All right, everybody. You keep on keeping on. And there's a playlist on this channel for wherever you're at in the spiritual awakening. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your continued support. Till next time, we'll show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father. And you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.